Topic of today's presentation is automatic document creation. So, though we say automatic document creation, like this presentation is mostly focused on SID and KIM document generation. So, at the end of the presentation, like you will get an overview about why automation is needed, then what is the process or the steps involved, and then what we have achieved for HDFCAMC so far. So initially what we'll do is we'll only go through a top level kind of understanding about these three steps, but later on we'll get deeper and deeper into each and every part so that you will get a full understanding of it. But first, the overview. Also, the audience of this presentation is expected to be compliance department or anybody who is involved day to day in a document creation, so they understand the pain involved in creating the document. So what I will do is that the first part, the why automation is required, probably I will not dwell too much into that, because we all know that there are like many SIDs, like 75 or 80 SIDs and KIM that we need to generate every 6 months or so. And then there is a lot of common text in that. There are a lot of, like, scheme related data in that. And what happens is that if there is even a single line of change in a common data, then you have to go and change all the 75 documents, so which is very painful. And that is what we want to come and solve that problem. Also, there are other things, like, that there is a lot of tabular data, there are charts or graphs involved in it, so that we need to get generated from different sources or vendors, and then combine it all together. So the overall process is time consuming, error prone. So that is exactly what we want to avoid. So in this presentation, the next step that I would like to tell you is that how do we do it. I mean, we already know why we do it. So what we have done is that we have come up with a web-based software that will support you, like, in a way that will speed up the overall process, and also it will make less error prone and more productive. So fundamentally there are three steps, as you can expect. One thing is the input data preparation. So this step is quite involved, and then we will be working with you along the way at every step. So it is not that we just give you a web based portal and then ask you to do it everything on your own. We'll in fact be part of the data preparation, the initial data setup that is required, the preparation that is required. So we'll be hand holding all along. And this is exactly what we have done for HDFC AMC as well. Then the middle part is the system, basically. So this is a web based system. People will log in to this, the one with access to this system. They will upload the input file folder as a zip file. Then it will do its work and generate like all the set of SID KIM documents. If you find that there was some problem in a common place, like which affects like everything, then most likely what you'll do is you'll change that one common place, you'll upload again, and the documents will be ready. And if there is like, like small changes here and there in one of documents, then most of the time people, because there is a deadline, most of the users prefer to change the word document directly and get over with it for now, and then come back and update the input documents, so that next time it is already ready. So this is the top level process, and we are going to go through each and every step, like, one by one. So again, preparing input data is like a big thing. So the input data itself is like coming from many sources. Like, one is, for example, you are getting CSV or Excel files from different departments, or you are receiving a simple text by email, or you're receiving or preparing the word documents, like, for example, NAC disclaimer. Then you might have like a semi-static data, like logo and things like that. So all this, like, and many other that consist of like that input data, like some of the things like CSV, Excel and all, like what we do is that ultimately our system requires the data to be in a standard format. So what we do is that, like, we help you to convert this data into whatever format we need by using the automatic conversion process. So for that we need to study in which format you get the data. So once we understand that, then we'll, like, customize our automatic conversion scripts based on your input data. So from the UI point of view, from the usage point of view, again, you can also do this, and our team can also help you. Is that, like, after you log in, you see menu options like this where you just upload the input file and it gets converted into appropriate format that we need. Then once the input data is ready, folder is ready, then you we call it as a run name, like for example, all SIDs for April 2025 or all CAMs for April 2025. Then you upload that zip file where all the input files are there, and just click on generate SID, and it does its magic. So you can see that, like, once you, start like these jobs or runs that we call it, you'll see that it has got, like, when it was initiated, when it actually started, when it actually ended, and then what is the status, whether there was any errors or warnings or things like that. So so you can download the input folder that you used to create the SIDs. So it, like, acts like a backup for you of the input folder. You can download these word files as a zip. So you can download it, and then you can take a look at it. You can do a final submission or edit those. So fundamental process is this, right? Prepare input folders, upload it, and then ultimately get the output word files. So this is something that, this is running for like a couple of years now for HDFCAMC. And then there are 91 SIDs that we generate, and there are 91 KMs that we generate, and then each file contains these many uh, pages, right? So this is working system. And as I said, like, you don't have to do everything. We are there to help you at every stage, right? Now let's go dive deeper into the steps of creating the input data, right? So first time, what we'll do is that we'll get all the data from you, wherever it is, in whatever format it is, and we will create an initial draft of the input data for you. So some of the data, like, we'll request in a Excel format if it is available. But if it is not, we'll even go to your website where you already have the SIDs and CAM uploaded, and we'll download it from there. So we can go there, we can download it from there, and then we can grab whatever columns that we need from that data. Luckily, the format of the SIDs and KM, that is standard, it is same all across mutual funds mostly. So we don't need to worry about that much. Only the data is going to change based on what Axis Mutual Fund or any other company might have. So we'll update that, and then after that we'll have like a agreement that you'll be sending the files in a particular format to us, because our conversion scripts will be based on that, right? So we'll prepare this input folder, will take your help, and then this is what we call it as a template document. So what happens is, like, for example, scheme name, then like this riskometers, all these are like variables from our point of view. So based on and some of the variables are specific to the AMC, and some are specific to the scheme. So for example, logo, like, these kind of things are static and they will remain same for the AMC. But then the variable names, like scheme name, for example, or scheme type, their BAC and NAC script codes, those will change based on the schemes. Those are variables that are like maintained in the input folder in a specific format. Again, the whole thing, like, you'll find that it is quite logical. So like for example, like, you can see it here that for this scheme code, we are saying that the output template document, the format or the layout that is decided by the template. So we are using this template for ETF. Then for some other complex scheme types, we'll have a different template based on the need. And then there are some internal files that we maintain for which are very specific to the schemes, that we'll be getting the data from here. And then this is on and off, is like, sometimes what happens is, like, out of say 75 schemes, data for 70 schemes is correct, but there was some problem with the input data in only 5. So then what you do is you turn off like all the other uh, scheme process codes in all the other rows, but only for those 5 you keep those on. Otherwise you keep it off, and then you again upload the input folder. So your input folder doesn't change. input folder remains the same, all the data remains the same. Only you are saying that I want to save my time and I want to only generate specific number of schemes, regenerate the schemes basically, right? Then the actual scheme wise data, this is only part of it actually, right? What we are showing it here, there are many columns here because there are so many things which are variables that are dependent on the scheme code. So like all those are maintained in excel. See, we are specifically doing it in excel and word, especially because, like, when we started with HDFCAMC, most of the data was there already there in excel files and word documents, and we didn't want them to recreate it, right? So it was already there, it was a matter of convenience. And so if you have the data in some other format, we are anyway going to convert it, put it here, so that it's easier to update for your team. Then this is how the output file folder looks like. So the screen that we showed you here, that you can download the word zip folder from here. So once you zip this download this zip folder and then unzip it, then this is what you're going to look like. There are some error log. Again, if there is an error, then our team is going to be there to help you. And then these are the output documents. So the final output like looks like this. As you can see, we are even generating this automatically based on your input folder. Also, like, this is being generated automatically based on your input folder. So this was the overall flow. I hope you have understood the need for automation, the overall efficiency and all. Then you must have understood how the steps or the process that we follow to generate it. And then we dwelled into a little bit detail to how to prepare the input folder. And then you also saw the success story that we are already doing it for HDFC AMC. Then we suggest like a phased approach, like, like for example, in the phase one, you can start with ETFs, get that right, so all the documents are ready, and like it is useful for you. And then in the next stage, you can keep on adding like more complex type of schemes as we go forward. So you can do that way also. And I'll repeat this, but we are there all along. So it's not that you just get the access and you do everything. It's not like that. Like, our support will be like always there. And at the end, like, I would like to just show you this slide. Maybe I'll get into the details of each and every one at a later stage, but there are some other things that we are providing it as a subscription service to HDFC AMC. You might find some of these services useful, especially, like, there are any changes to or new notifications coming to RBI or SEBI or any other site. Then we send them like a email. We kind of consolidate it for them on a monthly basis. We also have liquidity breach and other types of alerts for them. So if you find any of this useful, or if you have a specific requirement, that you can like ask us to do it, and then we'll be happy to do it. And one important thing that I would like to mention is that the SID data, KIM data, is a completely public data. So it is anyway going to go to SEBI and like other your own websites. So that is the reason why we are keeping it like as a web portal which is outside HDFC AMC, because it's a public data anyway. But still we have kept and use like the basic authentication and security features that are already added in the web portal, so that you don't have to like worry about that. But at the same time, it is a public data. There is no personal data like getting into here. So thank you so much. Like, if you have any queries, please write us to at mf@fairshare.tech. We'll be really happy to help you. Thank you so much.